In a job interview, maybe they ask you what are your weaknesses and strengths. So how to think about how to answer for this question. So I'm talking about strategy, how the mindset, how to handle this question. So when it comes to your strengths, try to speak longer, spend more time, make them remember your answers, give a lot of examples, so make them like your answer, remember your answer, believe your answer. So it should be use a lot of examples and proof. When it comes for the weaknesses, make it very quick, answer the question. So don't try to, oh, I don't have any weaknesses. That answer the questions. Try to be very boring so they don't remember you, but they should trust you. And you should give relevant, important weaknesses. And don't use that trick that actually is not a weakness, so I work too hard. Okay, they're not stupid. So interviewers are not stupid. Don't try to hide that, hey, I work too hard, and they think that it's a positive thing, not a negative. Okay, it's very difficult to make it correct. They understand this, that no. Give weaknesses that are true, really weaknesses, but not important. So it will not stop you to get the job. So don't say that I usually steal money from my boss, and a lot of times I don't come to work because I don't like working. Okay, so don't talk like this. But let's say that if a foreign language is important for this job, then you can say that, let's say, my English is not good or my Spanish is not good, and it's relevant to the job. And the main point that they know it, they can test it very easily whether your language is good enough or not. So it's true, it's relevant, but it's not really new for them, but you answer the question. Okay? So the idea is that the negative part, the weaknesses, don't try to trick them, and don't use that obvious way, but answer the question. So try to think about that it's obvious, but let's say that I don't like my boss micromanage me, and some boss likes to micromanage the subordinates. Now, if it's true, actually you disqualify yourself from the job, and that should be your purpose, because you don't want a boss who micromanages you all the time. So you can use the weaknesses to communicate your values, what you want. And that is a real weakness, especially for a boss who likes to micromanage the employees, the team members, but you don't want to work for a boss like this. So you can use the weaknesses that you actually talk about your requirements. And for example, that my weakness is, let's say I have children, and sometimes the children become sick or they have a problem at the school and I have to go there. So my weakness is that sometimes I need some flexibility from the boss. Okay, so you are communicating that if it's a very rigid workplace that people have to work overtime and they cannot go home when there is a problem, then you don't want to work here. Okay, and it's actually for a manager who needs somebody to be in the office all the time and don't care about the children, this is really a weakness. So think about the weakness is not about just personality. It can be about that as an employee you will be hired and there are expectations about your performances. And for example, maybe you can say that I cannot arrive at 9 o'clock because I live very far. So it's a kind of weakness, not a personality weakness, but your situation, okay, your family background or where you live. So you can use this because it is important for you and maybe important for them. So tell this. Okay, so in this case, what is the trick behind is that you are not talking about other things, that you answer the question. So they want you to answer the question, they want you to believe, and they want to hear real weaknesses, not about just any kind of bullshit that other people who don't prepare for an interview just come up with. Okay, so give real weaknesses. Either they already know, or it's maybe you can also say that maybe not so relevant to the job, so it's not a main aspect, but it's a real weakness, or your employability situations, okay, that you cannot work 8 hours, just 6 hours, okay. And in the strengths, you should choose those elements that listed in the job duties and the job requirements, especially about the personality. So let's say that you read what kind of people they are looking for. For example, if you want somebody who's creative, because it's a creative job, then emphasize that. Give examples that you are creative. If they want somebody who can work very hard, then emphasize that you work very hard. So it's not about you give the same 3 strengths in any employment. It's not good. You have to tailor-make your answer for that company, so they see that, oh yeah, we want somebody who's very creative, we want somebody who can work overtime. And let's say you can say the strengths: I don't mind to work overtime because I want to get a promotion very quickly, I want to learn everything, I need a practical experience, I want to achieve something, so I don't mind to work. So this is also not about the personality, but about what they are looking for. So if the culture of the company is that they want people to work overtime and at the weekend and don't take annual leave, and if you really this kind of person, you can emphasize this. So again, what are your weaknesses and strengths? So think about not just your personal characteristic, but about what will they get, your actions, your circumstances, the family background, your plans, okay? So maybe the weakness, you can say that, hey, I take different courses, let's say an open university course, 3 times a week at 6 o'clock, so I have to leave earlier. Because this is a condition, this is a weakness, okay? And the strengths should be always relevant to the job, and choose the 3 most important things. Actually, you can prepare for 10 items, but always start with the first most important, most relevant thing about your strengths and talk about, and then go to the next one, and it should fit to that company. So don't use the same strengths in each situation, it should be tailor-made.